Any classification according to a singular identity polarizes people in particular way. But if we take note on the fact that we have many different identities related not just to religion but also to a language, occupation and business, politics, class and poverty, and many others, we can see that the polarization of one can be resisted by a fuller picture. So knowledge, understanding are extremely important to fight against a singular polarization.
What is poverty? What is wealth? Why are poor people poor? How do we change this? How far would wealth go to get them what they want? Development can be seen as a process of expanding the freedom that people enjoy. And if freedom is what development is about, then it makes sense to concentrate on that rather than on some of the means or instrument of achieving it. This approach contrasts with others such as identifying development with the growth of the GNP, rise in personal income, or with industrialization, technological advance, or social modernization. These are all important but are means and not ends. Freedom depends also on other determinants like social, economic arrangement, educational, health facility, political, and civil rights. In 1998, Amartya Sen won the Nobel Memorial Prize in Economics for his contribution to welfare economy. Sen is the first Asian to achieve this distinction of the Nobel Award in Economics. According to the Nobel Prize Committee, the prize was given for his contribution in: first, Sen's contribution to social choice theory; Sen's effort to link inequality measure with poverty measure; and last, Sen's work in development economics, especially in the analysis of relation between poverty and famine, and to his concept of entitlement and capability development.
I think the big story that in the economic development in the world, and particularly in Asia, is the feature of what we call the Asian model of development. Initiated originally in 1860s at the time of the Meiji Restoration in Japan, putting your emphasis on making the country fully literate, educated, providing health care, providing nutritional support in a way that people are able to work and be productive. That's the model that carried the Japanese forward, along with, of course, intelligent policies about trade and exchange, making use of the world market, as well as making use of the high capability of the labor of the Japanese, cultivated by the state. South Korea did the same. Taiwan did the same. Small way, Hong Kong, Singapore did it excellently that too. But in another way, Thailand did to a great extent the same thing. And then finally, after China, with the vacillation from the Maoist period, after a few wrong steps, particularly taking a wrong turn on the healthcare by privatizing it, by privatizing insurance, went back to the model of the state taking responsibility. That, to describe it as a handout state, welfare state, is a gigantic mistake. It's the way in which you make human beings capable. And that is central to any economic expansion.
Sen has clarified the condition which permit aggregation of individual value into collective decision, and the condition which permit rules for collective decision making that are consistent with a sphere of right for the individual. By analyzing the available information about different individual welfare when collective decisions are made, he has improved the theoretical foundation for comparing different distribution of society welfare and define new and more satisfactory indexes of poverty. In empirical study, Sen's application of his theoretical approach have enhanced our understanding of the economic mechanism underlying famines.
Award-winning Indian economist Amartya Sen believed that it should. Whilst the orthodox view of development aims to raise people's incomes, he argues this is of little use to people who still suffer in terms of health and education. He believed that personal freedom in all aspects of life was an important way to enhance economic development. Sen's book, Development as Freedom, identified 5 main human freedoms: political, economic, social, transparency guarantees, and protective security. Whilst income is important, he argued, it is not the only freedom humans need in order to develop and become the best they can be. For example, in a working environment, if someone can't read, they will struggle to use their money optimally, i.e., to build a business. Therefore, if they were able to develop the necessary skills through an increase in their freedom, it would result in being able to do more, and as a result, be freer. To understand how increasing freedom as opposed to productivity in the long term will be more beneficial, let's look in on 2 companies. The first company wants to turn its employees into robots. They come in, do their job for as long as possible, and leave without having used many resources. If anyone tries to speak out against this system, they get fired. If anyone gets sick, they have no health care. There's not even any training. The managers hired by the company are all from other countries, and there is minimal bonding between the workers and managers that could lead to progression. Trying to force productivity in this manner has the opposite effect. Poor working conditions lead to below-average products and a high turnover of employees. The second company is a cooperative and focuses on making sure its employees are looked after. They have fair pay, holidays, and breaks. If workers protest, the issues are discussed and solutions agreed, leading to a happier workforce. If they are ill, they have health care and are back to work quickly. Employees can get promoted quickly, and the motivation means staff turnover is far lower. The second company follows Sen's model, trying to focus on freedom beyond income, with a greater focus on self-improvement and quality of life. Chances are, though, they will also perform better than those working at the unfree company. Sen argues this inclusive, open management structure has been proven to be a more effective way of creating freedom in the lives of people in developing countries.
A state of poverty will generally be characterized by lack of at least one freedom. Sen uses the term unfreedom for lack of freedom, including a de facto lack of political right and choice, vulnerability to conceive relation, and exclusion from economic choices and protection. There is no doubt that Sen has boarded the agenda of welfare economic. He has caused a welcome shift in welfare economic in favor of the problem of the poorer and the less developed countries. He has probably raised more fundamental questions in the latter area than most other economists have. These questions do disturb the conscience of economics all over the world. Answer and practical solution belong to the realm of political economy and not to that economic theory such.